there, it's Kevin with Roguedeckbuilder.com here with segment number 2 for the Rogue Market, or Rogue Market this week. I don't know if I called it in the last video Rogue Deck of the Month. We are going to get Rogue Deck of the Month back as soon as possible. Still some hang-ups on the sponsorship and web design and whatnot, so maybe I'll just have to go back to good old Reddit for the Rogue Deck of the Month competition and hold it on there and Facebook again. But until then, anyway, this is back to the Rogue Market for all these who wanted me to do a Rogue Market. And yes, it's not my traditional way of editing and throwing prices up and whatnot, because we're specifically using the site MTG Goldfish this week to see price discrepancies, price differences between online and paper Magic. And in segment 2, we get into the juicy stuff, which is Modern and Beyond. And I really like this as speculation targets because we don't have to worry about rotation. This is something that is an eternal format now, and the trends are a lot easier to pick out than standard. They don't fluctuate as fast. You're not going to see, well, sometimes you do actually, but at this season when it's not Modern season, a lot of times you don't see prices increase as quickly. You see more of this type of trend in Threads of Disloyalty here, which is my first pick. In standard, you see these big boom, 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 depending on the flavor of the weak decks. So I really like this. This is a bit, you can see a bit of a mountain and a valley. I think that was this printed in Modern Masters? I'm not sure if it was or not. Was this released in Modern Masters? Let's look at Threads again. Does this give me 2? No. So I'm wondering why it went down in price. That's kind of weird. Because maybe the Tempo decks, the UR because UR Tempo's a new deck. It's because UWR used to use this, but they no longer do use it. And I think that they should use it again because I've been blown out by this card more than once with my Soul Sisters when they grab my huge Johnny's Pride Mate and start beating me over the face with my own Johnny's Pride Mate. So anyway, as you can see here, it's gone up to 12 at one point, then down all the way to 3, and back up to 10. So it is a bit of a risky pick, but in paper, it is kind of starting to follow a little bit of a trend as well. So, I mean, this UR Tempo deck, I believe it's Fairies. Yeah, it's like a Fairies deck, Delver Fairies deck, does use this good old Threads of Disloyalty in the sideboard. Very powerful card. What it does is it steals a creature with converted mana cost 2 or less. So good cards that are 2 or less are like Dark Confidant. Again, you have Johnny's Pride Mate that has been stolen from me multiple times. You have cards like the Deathrite Shaman. You can steal opponents' Grim Lavamancers. You can steal a lot of things, which is really, really good. It's definite card advantage. It's almost like removal plus adding a creature to your side of the board, and there are plenty of targets at 2 mana that you can grab for your own. You can grab a Flipped Huntmaster, by the way. You can grab a ton of things. Anywho, let's go back on to the price trend here. So I think it's worth picking up. This is a very, very, at least on Magic Online, it wasn't the most open set, and I think that holds true with paper as well. That you can see this Kamigawa block really, really spike in price as soon as these cards see a lot of play. When Modern season comes around, definitely put this on your radar. If this deck goes crazy, this card will go crazy. Anywho, let's go on to our next pick. Again, these are all Modern picks, which, oh, this was a goodie. This is an awesome one you should all be looking up because this is definitely something. This is going to follow the Shadow of Doubt trend. So we have Hurkyl's Recall, and it's being played again in I believe, like Affinity is using it, right? No, Anti-Infinity. Sorry, Infect, UB Mill, Izzet Tron. I've actually seen it happen more than just in Infect. I mean, they're using this. This is their sideboard card against it's Blue's answer to Affinity. It returns all artifacts to their owner's hands. So yeah, you basically, it's a one-sided. It doesn't hurt Affinity too bad because then a lot of times they can just pop it up next turn. But it's instant speed. They attack it with everything, and you return them all to their owner's hand, and they can't get around it. So it's amazing card right now. It's an answer. It's a sideboard answer. Again, it's in 10th edition. It's the only place it's been printed, I believe. I'm not sure on that, but or was it an old card? I can't remember if it was an old card that was printed before. But you can see it's starting to see a little bit of an increase. It's only $2.39. It's an $8 difference. This reminds me a lot of Shadow of Doubt. This really reminds me of Shadow of Doubt because it spiked on online way before it started now to spike on paper. You can see the 2 months difference. So we got May is when it started spiking to August is when it's really or July, August, the Shadow Doubt's really starting to spike. And oh boy, is it starting to spike. See, it's caught back up to online prices. But online, you know, at one point it's like, look at this, 6. Man, why didn't I pick this up? And it's all up to $6. The reason is it's a good, UWR uses it against any sort of deck that searches. It's land destruction a lot of times against the fetch lands or pod. It completely counters their birthing pod, and you get a draw card. So if nothing else, you can just cycle it for 2 mana, which isn't bad whatsoever. And it shuts down a ton of decks. I mean, look at all these modern decks that are using. Ooh, it's an interesting deck, the Rock, huh? Oh, so this is Jund without red. Interesting. Anyway, we'll go back to the Hurkyl's Recall. So I'm thinking. I mean, yes, it has stayed stagnant for quite a while. At one point, it was clear back in Dark Ascent. Whoa, wow! It spiked here too. That's when Affinity was huge, though. So I mean, it has been $1 at one point, but it's back up to $10. And I'm thinking that it actually is worth the pickup at this moment. It could be one of those cards in paper that eventually follows the trend of the online. So definitely put this on your radar. If you can pick these up at $2.39, better yet, if you can find them out of your friends pile that don't even like they had to play 10th edition, like can't even figure. I love finding cards like this out of casual players because they're never going to use it. It's just completely pointless. I mean, I guess it could go into some combo deck too. You can return all your own artifacts to your owner's hand and replay them all. And I'm sure there could be a storm type deck that could really abuse Hurkyl's Recall. So you go like, I can see this in like even a Beck Call deck. Ooh, this is making an idea for me. Like Beck Call, Ornithopters, Memnites, other cards that may come into free like Frogmites, and then Grape Shot for the win. So you go like turn 2. You'd have to find, I think you'd have to play like Elvish Spirit Guide if it's Legacy or some other way to generate mana. Maybe just Mox. No, Mox Opals probably would do it. So you'd go like turn 2 Beck Call, or you could get it off as fast as like turn 2 would probably be the best way. So you go, you return, you could go Beck Call, draw a card, 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 and I mean in Legacy you'd have access to like Lotus Petal and whatnot, and then you could because you'd go Beck Call, then Ornithopter, Memnite, Frogmite, Hurkyl's Recall, return them all to your hand, put them all out again. Mox Opal adds another mana. Whatever else that you've played, all the other mana producing stuff, like maybe a Springleaf Drum or whatever, produces another mana, and then you Grape Shot for the win. So I'm sure this could definitely go in a storm type deck. So definitely look at Hurkyl's Recall. I'm going to put this on my notes here. Hurkyl's Recall deck. See if I can actually abuse one. We're going to try to make one here and see if it actually works. I just hate to pay $10 on MTGO though. Screw that. Maybe I won't. $10 a piece. Anyway, so this could be a good sleeper card, and I think I've given enough reason to invest in it. And let's go on to Scapeshift. This is another great one because this is how you see how prices on MTGO can shift a lot. Get the pun. Can move a lot quicker than it can in the paper. But you can see it's on the downward trend, so maybe this isn't a good time to invest in it. Other than Scapeshift's one of those decks that comes and goes in Modern, and someone plays it and wins because no one's prepared for it. And then all the fanboys, all the net deckers pick it up and they cause mountains like this, and they don't know how to play it right because I swear, this is one of those decks that you have to play perfectly. You can't just expect it to run itself. It's one of those decks that does require a lot of decision makings. You have to really think about when to cast that Scapeshift. So a lot of people pick this deck up, they suck with it, and then they try to ditch the Scapeshifts. But paper, again, this is going to be a deck that's around forever, though. It only gets better with time, too, because you get other lands that are actually... You could get another land that is like Valakut, or what other decks use Scapeshift, and it could... I mean, it stayed stagnant here for a while, so next Modern season you could see another one of these price trends. Like, I think this is when someone won a big tournament with Scapeshift, and boom, you saw a $6 difference, a 400% increase in one day. So I would definitely think about Scapeshift as a investment. There is still a double price discrepancy, even though it is following the downward trend. So you have to be aware of that. But again, modern season is just around the corner. It starts, I believe, in the fall. Does it? Is it fall or winter that it starts? I can't remember exactly when modern season starts. But Scapeshift is one of those decks that is always going to be there. People play it. Like this week, it's not very popular, but certain weeks it is very popular. And it's just, you know, it's good old Scapeshift. Nothing new here. We've all seen it before. A bunch of the pros have played this before in tournaments. All right, so we'll go on to the next card here. And it's not what I want to see. We want to go to our cheat sheet, which is, ooh, this is another good one. And this one is, I think that this one in paper might be a bit misleading because there is a million of these promos going around. And see, it doesn't give me the option to look at the promo on MTG Goldfish. The promo, I think, is like a few bucks cheaper. And I'm so kicking myself for not picking this up because I was going to build like a big red deck back in the day. And if Johnny Vengeance were not, yeah, they're like $3 at that time. And never did pick them up, but as you can see, this deck is going back up again. Jund and UWR Control, which are number 1 and number 2 decks, are using this bad boy. It's $10 in paper, $20 online. It is definitely something I would pick up. And it's one of those. This was the day that it was like 4 out of the 8 top 8s used it in a tournament. The pros used it. Basically, yeah, everyone played it in the Jund deck that week. And it was one of those breakout cards, and now it's kind of stayed stagnant. And you might see one of these one-day increases again on Paper Magic in the coming future, because look at this, 45 decks in this week have used it in Jund, and it is a staple card in there, I do believe. Well, 42% of the decks use it. The Johnny Vengeance. Okay, so maybe this is a bit misleading because maybe it's saying it's $14, so maybe there's one you can get for $7. Huh, that's funny how it's. So maybe this isn't the best pickup because maybe, okay, there we go. This is the promo. The promo is a whopping $7. So I guess it wouldn't be bad to pick that up. But still, it's the other one. Maybe people that don't know about the promo, that's what's really driving the increase of a Johnny Vengeance. Because you can see this sucker's going up and down, and the other one's not. So I don't, and it doesn't have the paper price for the promo either. But kind of weird because that did say promo. Yeah, so I don't know what the promo is going for online. It's probably about isn't it a dual deck of Johnny versus Nico Bolas? And I guess that was printed quite a bit. But I still think it's definitely worth putting on your radar because it is in the number 1 and number 2 deck. And I believe that it's a pretty big one in the UWR Control as well. Yeah, 59% of the decks use at least one copy. So there you have it for that card. I do believe it has potential, especially if every pro. Like 4 out of the 8 top 8s use it again in some tournament. You'll see that sucker spike. All right, next card again is Celestial Colonnade. This you better pick up as quickly as possible before Star City starts trying to control the price because it has made itself into the staple card deck. So right here, 4 of in the UWR Control. Sorry, my internet's going slow, but boom, look at this. UWR Control, which is, again, the number 2 deck in Modern right now, uses 4 of them, and it's $12.20. It's started to see that huge upward trend, and it's had this steady progression. Had another huge... This must have been a major Modern tournament on February something. But anyway, since then, it's had just a steady increase. Celestial Colonnades, I did pick up my Celestial Colonnades right here. I think I just traded them off, though. For cards I needed, and I wish I had more money to speculate. Man, I'd do this full time. I'd run this sucker like the stock market. I wish I didn't live in rural Utah. If I lived anywhere where I could get rid of cards very quickly, I'd be doing this sucker all day long, just speculating. But now I'm more of a rogue decker rather than a speculator, so I don't have the time or the money to do so. But yeah, anyway, Celestial Colonnade is a great pickup right now. It's a $5 price discrepancy, price difference between the two. And again, it's in UWR Control. We see some Tron and Gift decks running it as well. And yeah. Alrighty, so now we go on to a very confusing, and please, someone who knows this card better than I do. Lux Cannon. Okay, Cannons with 2 N's, Kevin. I have no clue. What does this card go in? Someone tell me, because maybe it'll show me here. And maybe my internet is incredibly slow. No decks found. Anyone know why this is happening? I know there was just another card that puts counters on stuff. Charge counters. for the Modern Masters card that I just don't understand. Why is this increasing on Magic Online? Anyone have any clue what this is going in? No decks found, but yeah, it's surprising. I have no clue. Anyway, so it's $7.65 versus $1.41, but it's starting to go up too. Look at this trend. It's starting. Is this a Commander card? Anyone that plays Commander, please help me out, because I know absolutely nothing about Commander. So at one point it was more expensive. Look at that. It was $5 at one point. That was a release, and it's steadily gone down. But now it's starting to go back up again. So I don't know. I really don't know with this card. It looks like the trend is going up. I'm hoping that one of my subscribers will tell me why this card's going up. But just the discrepancy alone and the trend is enough to impress me to actually buy into Lux Cannon. It's $1.41. I can trade off nothing for this. I can trade off a Gore Clan Rampager for a Mythic. So I can go and I can find bulk Gore Clan Rampagers. One of the things I used to do is buy people's commons and uncommons. You'd be surprised at what I'd find in their commons and uncommons. I found Spell Snares. I found Remans. I found all my Johnny's Pride mates, even cards like the Young Pyromancers and Gutter Snipes. I have about 30 Gutter Snipes just from picking up people's draft trash, and those are going for $2 to $3 right now. Anywho, Lux Cannon is something you could trade one of those bulk uncommons for a Mythic, and that's what I call trading up. So Lux Cannon, I think, is, if it's showing this huge trend on online, I guarantee, and maybe they just need them to redeem. Can you even redeem Scars? I think you still can redeem Scars, but I don't know who would. Anyway, let's go on to the next card, which is, ooh, this one's huge difference. And I think this is the most up pick. I've been calling this card for the longest time, trying to target it myself, but I can't find many people with it that actually are willing to get rid of it, because I guess it's a Commander staple too. People like it in Commander, I think. I'm not sure. But you can see that Modern's starting to put this like crazy. Jund, Split Twin, The Rock. I've seen it in UWR. Legacy and Maverick because of Stoneforge Mystic. And Esper Deathblade, Stoneforge Mystic again. White Legacy, Stoneforge Mystic. Black, I have no clue why Black uses it. I don't even know what Black is. Let's check this Black deck in Legacy. Is it probably just like a Nether? Okay, so Tombstalker. It's what is it? Oh, Sinkhole deck. Curse Scroll deck. All right, so I don't know much. Oh, it's a Pox deck. Is that what this is? Innocent Blood. No, it's just like a Curse Scroll control type deck in black, mono black control, right? Is that what this is? Yeah, Wastelands. Yeah, exactly. Wastelands Sinkhole deck, and then they try to just win with a Tombstalker that they cast for 2 mana for a 5/5, basically. Another Spirit is the only creature in graveyard you return to play. Okay. Sounds cool. Sounds like a good deck. Anyway, where do they use it? They use it in the sideboard? One of Batterskull and some of them. Anyway, you can see my very ADD mind that gets distracted very quickly to anything. Shiny, ooh, shiny, must click. Anywho, or boobs. Always have to click on boobs. Let's see, let's go back to, that doesn't have boobs. Doesn't even make any sense, Kevin. Batterskull. Batterskull is a Legacy and Modern staple. It's usually only one of in Modern, and that's why you don't see it increase in price as much as other decks. I don't even know why Tron doesn't use Batterskull. I think Batterskull is a decent one to use over Wormcoil Engine, as they can like return it and they can return it and put it back into play almost every turn. So if it does get answered, I mean Wormcoil is a 3-for-1 though. So Batterskull is a great card. Problem with Wormcoil Engine though is it gets path exiled. Batterskull, they just exile the token the next turn and put out another one. So I'd expect Tron to actually eventually have this in their sideboard as well. Who knows? But #1 deck's using it. Can't go wrong with that. 12 versus 30. Paper really needs a catch up. It's starting to. I would still say this is an upward trend, even though it's had a slight downwards. So you can see in March it was 8, and it's going to continue this trend like that, up and up and up and up. So I definitely pick up my place at a Batterskull if I don't have them, and this is a very safe card to invest in. It's not going to go down in price unless Stoneforge is somehow banned at a Legacy, which is not going to happen. And other than that, yep, that is like, let's put in Jit. Let's put in Umuzo. This is only used in Legacy as well. It's been printed as a couple promos already, and you can already see a trend in Jit as well, I believe, in paper. Yeah, going up, up, up. Look at the difference between online and paper at this one. It's crazy because no one plays Legacy. on MTGO. So, but paper, you've seen a steady increase as well for the last really long time. You've seen, and that's I'm sure Batterskull is going to follow the exact same trend. So you keep following this trend, Jitte is going to be worth $30 in the next 6 months, and I expect Batterskull to take the same trend, and it's a lot cheaper of a target, so you get more bang for your buck. All right, so on to my last card, which is kind of weird. It's called Enduring Ideal. And again, I don't know what decks this goes into, because but it's had a little bit of it's had a steady increase, about 50 cents every couple months. And the paper, it hasn't done anything. So search your library for an enchantment card and put it on a play, then shelf your library. Is this Enduring Ideal? Is this a commander deck? Is it some sort of legacy deck? Someone in the comments below that knows what Enduring Ideal is good for. But the reason I wanted a cheap little target, $1 to $4, so $1.25 to $4.50. That's a pretty good. That's almost, yeah. So it's exactly three times the price. So I definitely, there's got to be a reason why this is happening, and it spiked a little bit. Was there some sort of combo here? Search your library for enchantment, put in play epic. For the rest of the game, you can't play spells. Yeah, there's got to be some sort of combo with Enduring Ideal. Anyway, is it players can't cast spells and then you epic, and then at least you get stuff out every turn? I can't remember why people use epic, but yeah. Anyway, that's basically the Rogue Market for this much. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know what you like about this new format. If you hate it, I'll go back to the old format. The only reason I don't like the old format is traditionally my Rogue Market videos are the least viewed, and yeah, I'm not doing them for views per se, but I do like to get a high view count. You know, it gets more people to the channel, builds the community and whatnot. And my Rogue Markets take about 6 hours to edit. By the time even if I do just like a short 5 card, and they take forever to edit. I'm not going to edit this video at all. Maybe a few uhs and is and ers, and you know, that type of stuff. Maybe I'll edit out. I probably won't because I'm lazy. But with the Rogue Market, my traditional way, it takes forever to edit, and I need a faster computer to do so. I have a really, really laggy computer, so it's between every edit, it's like grinding teeth. I have to cut out little sections, and my computer pauses up all the time, and it's just a pain in the butt. So I'm going to go with this more live Rogue Market for a while until I do get a new computer. And so if you hate it, I apologize, but I think all the information's here. I've showed you the graphs, I've showed you the picture of the cards, here they are, boop, 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 and giving you my reasons why I think they're good investments. I know it's not as nicely put together as the other Rogue Markets. Eventually I'll get back to that, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. I've got back to Rogue Market, so quit yelling at me for doing a Rogue Market. I'm going to try to do these every month or so. If I do it in this format, I can easily do it every month. If I try to go back to the old format where I have to edit everything, I can't promise that because it's too time consuming. I have a full-time job. I try to work on work for gatheringmagic.com, and I work for my own website, trying to get my own website up, trying to get my playmats and t-shirts done and everything else. So Rogue Market unfortunately has kind of been put on the back burner, but I'm doing it. Look at this. So if you enjoy this, let me know. If you want me to keep going this format, let me know. If not, yell at me and say go back to your old format. This is Kevin from Roguedeckbuilder.com. Thanks for watching.